Big Red Nation, are we here?
The best show for Chicago sports.
Oh my God!
Yeah. Y'all know what we came to do? We on the move. Because the Chicago Bulls are playoff bound, baby. Playoffs, baby. Woo! I don't care how we got there. I don't care how ugly it is. Playoffs, baby. Let's go. And on today's show, we're going to be talking about what kind of impact will the playoffs have for the Chicago Bulls' future. We're also going to be breaking down Bulls losing Lonzo Ball for the year. That's going to be big. And then, of course, talking about how this will affect this team this season. All that and more. Of course, getting into some general NBA and stuff like that. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with us, man. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, because we do talk Chicago sports daily on this channel. We don't want you to miss the things, so make sure that you hit that bell. Let's go. Shout out to y'all for pulling up for another live. The Windy City Breeze Sports Talk Live is up and in action. Appreciate y'all for tuning in, man. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the pages. We do talk Chicago sports daily on this channel. It's your boy, Pat the Designer, back at it again. Stop playing with him. Bulls are playoff bound. Bound to falling in love. The Bulls are playoff bound. I don't care what goes with it. I don't care what stipulations happen. Oh, we're not this, we not that. We ain't made it. We not going to win. We are playoff bound. We are watching more than 82 games of Bulls basketball this season. C-Red Nation, stand up. Where we at? Y'all see the Bulls merch we got underneath the page on the right side if you're on a tablet, underneath if you're on the phone? I don't know where it pop up on the computer. We're going into the playoffs. We have a playoff series. We have a playoff team here in Chicago, and we have a team that continuously is moving in the right direction. Appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate this team. Are there some bumps in the road? You got dang right. You got dang right, brother. Are there some bumps in the road? Absolutely. Are there some bumps in this team right now? Absolutely. Is it going to be a cakewalk in the playoffs? Absolutely not. Are you going to get out of the first round? Don't know. Don't look great. But your team is in the playoffs right now. Feel good, Bulls fans. It's okay to feel good. It's okay to feel good. Don't let none of these fake mugs tell you it's not. You sat there and you watched 22 wins a season. Don't let nobody tell you it's not good. Don't let nobody tell you to feel bad about your team. 22 wins the last season with Jim Boylan. 22 wins. Don't let nobody tell you that your team don't deserve to be here. You see Muzz got up out of here already, right? What we have, 30-something people in this John, something like that, you know what I'm saying? Muzz done dipped already. Hey, he's trying to call us out. We don't want to be a part of that. You dang right. Because this is about growth. This is about moving in the right direction. This is about seeing my franchise go to the position that we wanted to be in. That logo right there, laughing stock. It was. It was. The laughing stock of the NBA. That's what that logo represented. It went from representing Michael Jordan in greatness to representing the laughing stock of the NBA. I'll tell you this right now, Bulls fans. With 3 games left in the season, you're no longer the laughing stock of the NBA. With 3 games left in the NBA season, you are no longer the laughing stock of the NBA. Feel good about it. Feel great about it. Enjoy it. Relish it. Love it. Are there some issues? You doggone right. And we'll address those as well. But you got to look at the positives that come from this, right? Listen, we weren't expecting to win a championship. We weren't even talking championship until this team actually started winning games. Right? Till this team started winning a little bit more. Hey, maybe they can get to the ECF, and then you never know. When they were in first place for most of the season, you know what I'm saying? It was, hey man, listen, we could actually do something. We might be the best team in the Eastern Conference. Hey, here we go. But we knew bumps in the road were coming. We knew bumps in the road were coming. We knew that there was going to be some turmoil on this team at some point. Hey, you went through too many injuries. You went through too many struggles. You went through too many, trying to figure it out, right? Just trying to figure it out. But you're moving in the right direction, and you're going to get some playoff experience for Zach LaVine. For Ayo Dosunmu, who unfortunately, due to the news that just dropped, I mean, it dropped last night during the game, but apparently now there's like an official announcement from the Chicago Bulls that Lonzo Ball will be out the rest of this season. Unfortunately, you're going to lose him. You were hoping to get his contribution back into this thing, but I'm okay with it, right? I'm okay with it. You want to rest him. You want him to be 100% moving forward because he's 24 years old. So the more rest you get for him, the better he feels moving forward. When your team possibly is ready to be championship contenders, you want him healthy. You want him 100% healthy. And there's some concerns with Lonzo as well. But you want him 100% healthy. And the only way for him to be that is for you to give him the time to heal 100%. They've tried to ramp him up multiple times. And here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. This team isn't 100% healthy. Zach LaVine banged up. I just saw the injury report from Casey Johnson tonight. Tonight, all these guys are playing, right? All these guys are playing. Javonte Green, quad contusion. Zach LaVine, left knee soreness. Derrick Jones Jr., left knee soreness. Matt Thomas, right leg contusion. Now, Matt Thomas doesn't matter as much in the grand scheme of things, right? But when you're talking about most of this team, I mean, Javonte Green and Zach LaVine are 2 key pieces of what you're doing right now. You're trying to figure it out. You're trying to fight through the injury. Alex Caruso back isn't even mentioned on here. He's 0 for 5 last night. We all know he ain't healthy. All of a sudden, you're done offensively? What the heck is that? As we welcome in the man formerly known as Ringo J. Stefan Adon into the building, man. Steph, what's good?
What's going on? What's happening?
Playoffs, baby. That's what's happening. Woo! You can't mess with my mood. I don't care.
I think you about the only one in like probably Baki and Chicago Sun that's actually happy these mugs in the playoffs. It's like 3 of y'all.
I could care less. Listen,
Hey, what's up, Brody?
Listen, I could care less.
What's
you
good,
know why?
What's up, Jason?
Because freaking they wasn't here. They don't know what it was. Listen, when
Hey,
you,
hey, man,
this the
they
thing.
don't
This
know
the
what it
thing.
was.
You can't hit me with, oh, you're not doing this. We should be here. We want to win this. We want to do. Listen, because the last time y'all was watching the games clearly must have been when they was winning basketball series. When they was consistently in the playoffs. Y'all wasn't watching
They was
22.
watching back in 2011. That's what happened.
You know what I'm saying? When's the
They
last time
was
y'all
watching
watched?
back in
Hey,
2011.
they probably didn't even tune in for the full season of Jimmy Butler. They just tuned in for the playoffs when the Bulls finally got there. It's like, oh, they actually made it? Let's watch this. Let's see what's going on here. And listen, does it look great for the Bulls right now heading into the playoffs, especially losing Lonzo Ball? No. You got to find a way to get this team going, do the things that you can do well to win. They haven't done that down this second half
What's
of the
good,
season.
Baki? What's good?
Consistently.
What's
I'm
good?
not going to lie to you and tell you that they've consistently been, oh, we're killing it. We're dominating the second half. We're beating all these great teams. I'm not going to lie to you and tell you that. Like why would I fake it? But what I am going to say is there's a lot that can be gained from being in the playoffs. There's a lot that can be learned from being in the playoffs. We watched Atlanta go to the ECF last season. Atlanta absolutely has a chance to win in the play-in tournament this year. Why? Because they have playoff experience. Because playoff Trey is actually a problem. You know what I'm saying? Like I look at things that way. Playoff experience matters. That's why. Hey, look, that's why I don't want to see the Bucks. And that's who we're slated up against right now at 6. That's why I don't want to see the Bucks.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't want, like I said, I don't want to see Boston. I don't want to see Boston for y'all though. I don't want to see Boston.
This is the problem. There's nobody I really want to see
Except Philly.
I guess I wouldn't mind Philly. I ain't gonna lie to you because I don't think they're deep enough. But even that, like, okay, they're not deep enough. They still got Joel Embiid. One player makes a difference. But there's no team that's like, oh, I'm ready for them.
Yeah, because I think it's just gonna come down. Honestly, I think the two teams is gonna probably come down to is Philly and Milwaukee. So it's just like I think it's gonna be like I don't know. It's kind of a either or. I think Boston is the better matchup on paper because I think that outside of Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and Marcus Smart, the rest of those role players, I feel like they got the same issue. If you play the percentages, then they run into the same problem. The issue is Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and Marcus Smart all been there before.
Hey, playoff experience.
Hey, Jason Tatum went to the ECF out the womb. So
and I listen, I would rather be going into the playoffs not being a head in the sand Bulls fan. What do I mean by that? I would rather be going into the playoffs knowing what our deficiencies are and hoping that you can adjust in a series to hide those deficiencies, mask those deficiencies, stuff like that, right? I would rather be going into the playoffs knowing, hey, the Bulls right now aren't a very good three-point shooting team, aren't a very good shooting team. We watched that game last night. That game turned into a blowout in the second quarter because of what? The Bulls could knock down a shot. A shot. Like, that's the point of basketball. It's mind-blowing to me. We couldn't do what the point of basketball is last night.
Hey, but apparently the Bulls need ability to shoot. So Bulls need ability to shoot, play defense. I mean when I seen what you posted I want to say like a half an hour ago on Twitter and we talked about last night about Lonzo basically gonna miss the playoffs. Like now that we know the Bulls is in the playoffs, like for the rest of this season, what I don't want to hear is, oh, we need this person, this person, this. These people are not here. Y'all have to see and know what y'all got now. This is basically who y'all riding with, and this is what it is. It's not time for the excuses. Like me and Pat, I mean, we really couldn't say nothing on the game analysis because
I
it's
couldn't
just
say
like,
nothing
yo,
last night. I was pissed.
like
Hey,
legitimately,
there was no breakdown to that. I was pissed. I was like,
what
bro,
you
like legitimately, they can't make shots.
they can't make try. It's
Yeah.
legit packing the paint, and then we just finna let you play the percentages, and they legitimately can't shoot. Like
Yeah.
it's nothing else to it. Like so, it's just like from now on, it's basically like, Joe, just be happy that they're here, but also take this. You take this for what it is, and hey, if they wind up winning a series, they win a series. But
And this is the crazy part, right? Like honestly, is if you're looking at what matchup is going to be best for you heading into the first round. And we've talked about it a little bit, right? We've broken this down a little bit. But if you're looking at what matchup is best for the Chicago Bulls right now in the first round, you're really talking about, unfortunately, probably the Boston Celtics. Probably the Boston Celtics. Why? Because with the big man you have right now, he can take advantage of their not having Robert Williams inside. That's your probably your best first round matchup. Now, I don't think they're gonna get there. You know what I'm saying? As it sits right now. Maybe Philly just because of fatigue, but I mean Philly's got Joel Embiid. One player can beat you in a series. I wouldn't feel like, oh my God, we can't win a game in this series if we played Philly, but I would feel like, hey, this is gonna be crazy tough. But to me, if you're looking at Boston and or Milwaukee, I would rather have Boston for sure, because of their lack of size, size inside. They're running out there with Al Horford and
Daniel Tice,
Daniel Tice. Al Horford and Daniel
Al
Tice, the former
Horford,
Chicago Bull. Now
Daniel
Daniel
Tice,
Tice can get after you. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Grant Williams, Brandon Boston.
Yeah.
I mean, they got some dudes.
Yeah.
And that's the thing about Milwaukee. For y'all, I don't want Milwaukee first round off of the strength of the fact, like, I feel like even though Milwaukee, and it's weird, right? They've been hovering around like 3, 4. There was even at 2 for a time. They flirted with the 1 spot. Like I ain't even finna say that, boy. They just like, hey, bro, soon as they get to April 17th, we finna get to it. So it's just like, I'm really not trying to see that.
Nah, and the interesting thing, right? Like when you're talking about the matchups and when you're talking about who the Bulls could face, I mean, honestly, everybody's 2.5 games back. It really could be Boston, it could be Milwaukee, it could be Philly. But if I'm talking about gaining that playoff experience, gaining something, like, is it better? Here's the question, right? Is it better to play a team that can work you out for 4 games by exposing your deficiencies? Or is it better to play a team that maybe underachieves, maybe takes you a little bit lightly, and you're able to get a couple of games and you maybe build some confidence heading into the next season? Like I like to know. I like to know what's wrong with my team so that my GM can fix it.
I gotta say, I gotta go with the first option, and this is the reason why, because let's say y'all do play the Bucks.
Yep.
The Bucks take y'all light. Let's say y'all give them a tough 6. Everybody in the chat, oh man, Kobe, a god, P Kid. I told you, where you at? We can shoot now. This is the
Kobe gets hot.
And then,
By the way, which fixes so much. If Kobe White all of a sudden starts going like 7 for 10 from the 3-point line, the entire team is just a completely different team.
Oh, no, definitely fixes so much. But then it's also like, because I'm dead serious, because this is how y'all been all season, Garza. It'll be like, oh, Kobe have a couple good games. It's just straight bliss. Y'all don't know what y'all talking about, man. Kobe can shoot. Man, we got a good enough team. We just need Lonzo.
Lonzo ain't walking through that door.
Lonzo ain't walking through the door. Y'all get 6, and then y'all don't make no moves. Everybody come back. Y'all can't shoot again. Now we talking about the same issue. Whereas if I expose the deficiencies and I lose, and then it's 4-1 Milwaukee's way, AK will be like, hey man, we need to get like a Duncan Robinson in here, or we need to get a Lou Will in here.
Hey, don't be trying to pass off your trash.
Hey, man.
Don't be trying to pass off your trash on us. Hey, y'all seen how he did that? Y'all seen how he did that, Chicago? Trying to pass off his trash on us. No, we don't want that.
Nah. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Don't be trying to send us that big bench energy.
You want to know why I wanted to do that? Because first of all, y'all gave us Luol Deng when that man was literally dried up. And Tim literally just used him and was like, all right.
Hey, y'all wanted him.
Now you can have him. Hey, nah. But yeah, I mean, I'm just saying. I think it's better to, in this situation, lose 4-1, find out what the deficiencies is, and then come back better. Because you don't want to come in with that you don't want to come in being blind.
Yeah.
Being blind, like this is the thing that that they struggle with all season. So I don't want them to get 2, maybe even 3 games, and then we acting like it's all fixed. And it's really not.
You know what? I agree with you, because like, to me, right, if they're close, not to say I don't want the Bulls to win, not to say that I don't want the Bulls. I want the Bulls to win because they're doing the things that they do well. And it's working, right? Like if the Bulls win versus Milwaukee, or not versus Milwaukee, versus Boston, right? And Vooch is going off, I can see that happening. I almost expect that, because they don't have that great presence down low. Vooch can get down there, do his thing in the post. He can be a difference maker down there in the post. You know what I'm saying? Like, he can do a lot there. But on the flip side of that, if we go into a game versus Philly and the team is still being competitive, they're still fighting, but Philly is beating us every game, and we get 4-0, 4-1, whatever it is. But you now feel like, oh, we were one Lonzo Ball away, right? Like, all of a sudden, Kobe can shoot again. All of a sudden, Javante's knocking down threes. Derrick Jones is knocking down threes. Caruso's knocking down threes. All of a sudden, everybody's getting it together at the right time, right? And you feel like, oh, we're just Lonzo Ball away now. That's the thing I don't want the Bulls to get caught up in, because we've seen that happen before, right? Like with the Derrick Rose Bulls. With the Derrick Rose Bulls, you always felt like you were a shooting guard away, but you also just felt like, hey, we just need a dude that can knock down shots. What did we go get? We got Kyle Korver. We went and got Mike Dunleavy, guys that, yeah, they're supposed to be able to knock down shots, but are they going to be able to when the pressure's on most? Guess what? They weren't.
And this the other thing too, that I don't want us to gloss over this. I said this yesterday. Kid alluded to it, like because we talked about the Nets yesterday. Look, like, I don't want it to get lost. The Nets have 2 first-round picks.
Yeah.
For next season, like they're going to get better.
Yeah.
So let's not keep saying Lonzo Ball is a piece, and then that they keep overlapping you, because now what you're gonna have is, oh, we brought back the same team, and now the Nets got Bradley Beal. Nets got Bradley Beal, Ben Simmons,
Yeah.
Kevin Durant, and Kyrie.
Yeah.
And now they just you thought they was running roughshod over the league before. These mugs out here like 62 and 62 and 20 or something like that. So that's the thing that can't get lost in this whole thing, because the league is evolving. Like, the league is gonna get better. Everybody's gonna make moves, and you don't want to stay stagnant. Not in this NBA anyway.
Yeah. No, and that's the key for me, right? Like that's the thing that I don't want to see the Bulls do. I don't want to see the Bulls go into the playoffs and feel like we're this guy away. We're this guy away. We're one small, minuscule thing away, right? Because that's how a lot of Bulls fans went into the trade deadline. We're a rebounder away. We got him. Now what?
Hey,
Like,
that man had 3 solid games.
Well, I mean, he's still. I mean, listen, he's still
No.
doing what he's supposed to do.
He's still doing it.
He's still rebounding. The Bulls are a better rebounding
team. The
team.
honeymoon period,
Yeah,
from that aspect was just over.
But even that, right? Like, AK's got the foresight. He's like, listen. I know what P. Will is. P. Will's coming back. When we get him back in here, he'll be able to help with the rebounding as well. Guess what? AK was right.
And look,
AK was right.
That boy been getting to it.
That boy been getting to it on the offensive and defense. He had 4 offensive boards last night. He's out working people on the boards. He's getting to it. He's not out there just getting active. He had 18 last night. He did a good job defensively on Giannis last night, right? And I think you still
By the way,
need
he had 18 points too, by the way.
Yeah. I think you still need a Tristan Thompson on this team. Like, hopefully Tristan can be a piece off of the bench for you on this team.
If you want to come back.
If you want to come back, I'm saying, listen, he gonna come back. Summertime shy, all that cheek is just gonna be out here, man.
Hey, man. Hey, look, it's common knowledge that he said he retiring, so I'm just going off what he said. All I'm saying is take one sundress.
Take one sundress, man. That sundress get caught in the right thing. You know what I'm saying? You turn your head real quick and the sunlight hit it.
It take one sundress.
Come on now. We all been there.
I
got married off of that.
The good thing is, I can't. No, but the good thing is, these is good problems. You got AK saying that he's not finished. DeMar's coming back next year. Lonzo's coming back. And look, if y'all can get the aggressive P. Will like that last night, coupled in with a full off season of him with DeMar.
Yeah.
Hey, bro, I told you next season. P. Will next season about to be a movie. I'm telling you, that's about to be most improved. I'm telling you, bro. I see 20 a game in that man's future with like 2.5 steals. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you this right now.
Like P. Will is that good. He don't even know it.
I'm gonna tell you this right now. Whether he is the offensive piece we saw last night, whether he's the guy that takes 9-10 shots a game, knocks down 7 of them, and you maybe never get more offense than that, he's an 18 to 20 point a night guy. Patrick Williams will be one of, if not the best defender in the NBA next season, if he can stay healthy. If he is healthy, just watching. Did y'all? I need y'all to like. I went back and rewatched the game last night. Y'all know I do that every.
Are you did too?
Bro,
did you see when he snagged? Bro, did you see when he came down? I think he missed the float. Went back up over Giannis, snagged the board, one hand, give me that. Came back up with the one hand, yeah. Like, the dude, like, he, I don't know. Bro. It's so much I can say because it's there, and like Muggs is not really seeing it because I wanna. I don't know. But it's there, bro. It's there.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, it's one of those things to me where when I'm watching his game. Now, offensively, he's not a bad offensive player. I just don't know if he's ever going to be an aggressive offensive player. But you know what? On the defensive end,
Mikal
aggressive.
Bridges.
Aggressive.
Mikal Bridges, bro.
Aggressive. Bro, I'm talking about there were so many plays, right, where Giannis would grab the ball, go to make a move, and just run into P. Will.
And P. Will wasn't moving.
And P. Will wasn't moving. Now, there was one play, listen, there was one play where Giannis moved that man. But he had to like he hit him. Like he got the ball, jab step, gave him the bump. P. Will moved. I ain't gonna lie to you. But then Giannis pulls up. Derrick Jones comes over. Hand in the face. Can't knock down the jump shot.
And the crazy thing is, it was another play. I think Giannis got the steal. He was coming down. It was like a 2-on-1. Giannis thinking he's gonna take it to the basket. P. Will come out of nowhere. Didn't get the block, but like jumped so high that like Giannis tried to put it off the glass, changed the full trajectory, bro.
Yeah.
Out of like at minimum, AK know that this man is gonna be a clown.
And this is the thing with him, right? Like, so here's the question. Because we talked about, you know, what to expect from the Bulls going into the playoffs. We talked about what to expect from this team moving forward. After they come out of the playoffs and stuff like that, if they go on a run, go off, make it to the championship. But I don't see it. But if they go on a run, we talked about what that would mean for them going into the offseason. Are the Bulls a couple of pieces away? Or are they one really good piece developing that could be Patrick Williams away from being that next level team?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think that they need to go. I think they gotta. I think that they should get rid of Kobe White. Off rip. I think that's like the first order. I'm not
off GP. Get this man out of my city.
get this man out of the city. Now I think they need to get rid of him. I think they need to go grab one more shooter, a consistent shooter. I think they need to go get a shooter, a bench scorer, and then after that find a way to get a little bit more size for Vooch, just in case Tristan doesn't come back. Now, hey, look, now I'm gonna be honest with you because I've been hearing a lot about Rudy Gobert. Mitchell Robinson is a free agent. And I don't know what it is. I just like this dude. If they can somehow get him in here with Lonzo, just get him in here with Zoe.
Yeah.
I promise you, he don't even have to play the full 82 because I don't think he will. If that man just give me 60 games, at minimum 55 games, the Bulls could do something. The Bulls could do something. Cause I think he could seriously be a dire Rudy Gobert. Like if he actually locked in, because he has all the tools to do that. To be honest.
Hey, without paying him $200 million. Without paying him $200 million, bro.
Hey, absolutely.
It's interesting, right? Because it's like, do you have time for it? Like kid is right? Like there's a window on this team where it comes to
I'm not trolling. I'm dead serious.
There's a window on this team where it comes to us being successful mixed in with development, right? You're trying to add in guys who have to develop into the player we're hoping they become. Like me saying Patrick Williams will be one of the best, if not the best defender in the NBA next season if he's healthy. That sounds great, right? But like he's got to develop into that guy. it may take time for him to. No, I don't think so. I think defensively anyway, he's at that guy already, and we just haven't seen it for a full season. But do you have time for that, right? Like you're probably as much as it's gonna piss everybody off, you're probably gonna re-sign Zach. Well, piss half of Bulls Nation off, I should say. You're probably gonna re-sign Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine's probably back in the building with you next season. And for the next 5 years.
That's a good move.
It's a good move. It's a good move. I don't care what nobody says. It's a good.
And if he don't, he's going to Detroit. Don't
you
blame
can't pay him that much money. Dumb. Like y'all are dumb.
Stupid.
Hey, we just came out of a 5-year drought of what happens when you get rid of talent.
Hey, but you want to know what the funny thing is? I feel like ever since D-Book got into the playoffs,
yeah,
and then they see that like Devin Booker, like I want to say,
hold up. I normally don't put the comments up on the screen during the Daily Show, but this one, no. No. Hey. No.
hey, y'all think Vooch wasn't getting the ball before?
Hey, listen. I love Donovan Mitchell. I really think that he's gonna be a nice player. That man is a horrible shot taker, and he ain't passing that ball. Y'all got a problem with Zach? Y'all really gonna hate that man.
But the thing is, though, I think that ever since Devin Booker took the Suns to the finals, and we had the whole conversation of is Zach better than D-Book? Is D-Book better than Zach?
Yeah.
And then that like they see like D-Book playmaking like I don't know, cause you got to remember too, Chris Paul was out 15 games. The Suns won 12-3.
Yeah.
And that was just like, man, Zach can't make. He's not making his shots. Devin Booker's doing this while Zach can't do it. Like, nah, you don't need to be paying him this money. And that's just not how it works.
Listen, when you add Chris Paul to a team, things are very different. You know what I'm saying? But to me, like, when you talk about it, right, like, do you have time for the development that we're talking about for your team to win a championship in that time, right?
I would say for Pete Will, yes, but for the rest, no. Because we
there's nobody else to develop. I mean, Io's still developing, right?
No. I feel like Io could be I feel like Io can be a major piece, but like I'm talking about like, cause bro, I mean 4 years down the line, KD, I don't care how old this man get, KD's still finna be getting to a bucket.
Yeah.
Like KD is legitimately that skilled.
Here's a crazy thing, right? Like, even if there is a window, and Carew, I like the comment. What do you guys think about Cockburn? I'd itchy, but no, I would I would take him in the second round.
Definitely a second round piece.
If he falls that far to you, I'd take him in the second round. No, but is there a scenario, right, where the Bulls are growing, they're moving in the right direction, and we really just are waiting for these guys to come up? Like here's something crazy, but I've looked at it. If you look at now, listen, understand, hear me. I'm not saying these people are the same. But if you've looked at Zach LaVine's entrance into the NBA, how he's developed, how he's moving forward, how he's getting better every season, right? And the timeline that has gone with it, it's very much like when the Bulls started winning in the 90s, or before the Bulls started winning in the 90s. If you now add in somebody who is that developing piece, if you now add in somebody who has to be Zach LaVine's number 2, it might not be DeMar DeRozan when you finally start winning. You might need that guy that is 20, 10 boards, crazy rebounds. You need that guy that is your 2 guard off of the bench that maybe is able to come in, or your point guard off of the bench that maybe is able to come in. Because I keep hearing Ayo Dosunmu's a 2. He clearly doesn't shoot like one, but
He's a 1.
yeah, I know.
What?
I don't know where Muzz are getting that. So he was drafted as a shooting guard. You didn't.
Okay.
Hey, listen, you didn't watch him in college. Like, can you see something like that coming into play? Where like, hey, these pieces that AK is putting in place are the pieces that put this team on the next trajectory. Like, this team's gonna win a lot with DeMar DeRozan. They just are. DeMar DeRozan is one of the best scorers in the NBA right now.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're talking about the lineup that wins you a championship, you might be talking about Lonzo Ball at the point. Hopefully he's able to stay healthy, and we'll get into that in a second. DeMar DeRozan at Ayo Dosunmu at the 2. Hopefully his shot's able to develop. You can grow a shot in the NBA. Just ask RJ Barrett. Zach LaVine at the 3. Patrick Williams at the 4. You probably end up drafting your hardworking 5. Or you go get Mitchell Robinson. He becomes your hardworking 5, right? Is development the route that's going to be best for the Bulls to win a championship? Or is it just go buy your pieces? Because we've seen, as the Lakers have just gotten eliminated, buying your pieces don't always work. I understand that there's a lot of people that we say, oh, these guys buy championships. This is how the NBA works now. Who's bought one? Golden State developed theirs, and then they added KD to it. Who's bought one? Brian in Cleveland?
I will say,
but even that, like, he came back to Cleveland.
Nah, he came back when they drafted everybody.
Miami bought 2, I guess.
Only piece he got rid of was Wiggs. But I think development is gonna be the way to go, and this is why I'm saying this. I mean, we had one before.
Y'all did, but y'all bought the last 2.
I mean, did we really though?
Yes, you did. You paid LeBron James and you paid Chris Bosh. There was a lot of collusion that went into that. You bought that.
Okay, all right, fair enough. But Boston
traded for that. I don't count that as buying it. Yeah, they put that team together, but that's a lot of trades.
You still resign them though.
People gotta sign in.
I guess.
You know what I'm saying? Like people have to sign off on getting it done. I mean, really, like, let's see. Bucks developed theirs. The Lakers bought. I'll say bought on the Lakers, right? But even that, right? Like, was Anthony Davis was a trade, right?
Yeah, but they re-signed him. They had to still re-sign him though.
Okay, so bought. Okay,
money is money.
Raptors is bought. Or a trade?
Nah. That was a straight up trade.
That was a straight up trade. Okay. So that's and a lot of dudes that were already on that team. So that team was mostly developed.
They just legitimately took.
And you made a great trade.
That's the crazy part. We talk about, hey, they just needed the one piece. They legitimately needed one piece.
So you're talking about making a trade with a lot of the one piece. Golden State, 2 championships, developed. They had KD, but developed.
Well, yeah. Plus, that was one piece anyway. They just swapped out Harrison Barnes with KD, and that was the
end. But you signed. Yeah, you bought that one. Cavs bought.
I can't say bought on that if you already win 73-9 though. Because
The Cavs
Because
didn't go
Bob
73
means
and
that you
9.
struggled. Bob
No,
means that you struggled.
yeah, but they was also like before Brian came back, they was trash.
I mean, if we talking Brian, yeah, but I was just
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
Golden State.
I'm talking about the Cavs coming. Like before Brian came back, they was trash. So like I think the Cavs is bought. Golden State again developed. Spurs
Hey,
developed.
Chief C, that was a swap. That was a swap.
Miami, both bought. Dallas developed. Lakers the 2 years before that. Kobe and Powell developed. And you traded for Powell when he was a guy. Like he was nice. Was he an all-star in Memphis? I don't think he was an all-star at that point in Memphis. So
Nah, but he was still nice.
he was nice. He was nice. It was a good swap. Developed though. Like I understand that people go out and they buy their championships sometimes. Like 2020 is a bought championship. It just is.
But when you say bought, most of the time it's only like one player.
hey, listen. It's really one dude. Like it's really just
It's
LeBron.
really one dude.
It's
I
really
mean,
just
at minimum,
LeBron.
though, I mean, with this, I still think you might have to make a trade, but I feel like Io's defense is always going to keep him on the floor. So Io's defense is always going to keep him on the floor somewhere. If we acknowledge that the Nets are coming and they're going to do something with these two picks, P. Will and Io need to stay because Io's going to be a top defensive guard.
Well,
Like,
and
if he pans out to be Marcus Smart,
yeah,
that's a W. If he pans out to be Marcus Smart, that's a W. And we already know what type of projection P. Will is on based on what LeBron said. KD said it. He's getting to have prayer. And last night, you kind of saw the flashes. I still do think that the Bulls had to make a trade for somebody to put them over, but those are the two pieces where it's like these to me should be non-negotiables if we're going to catch the Nets. Wow, everybody.
and this is a great comment. This is a great comment by Baki, right? Development leads to bringing in the right piece. But I'm talking about that start. That is a fact. Like you don't get KD to the Warriors if you don't go 73 and 9 without developing. You know what I'm saying? Jaden, what's good? You don't get KD to the Warriors if you don't go 73 and 9 with development.
Yeah, but I think
that 73 and 9 team was developed.
Okay, yeah. I see. Okay, I got you.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and then all of a sudden you beat KD and the Warriors, you get to the finals, you lose to LeBron, Brian beats you, he comes back 3-1, great, hoorah, hoopla, all that great stuff, right? But you don't get that great piece there until you have a great core in place.
He was a free agent. They still had to buy him.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is you had to have that core in place.
I was just responding to guys.
No, you have to have that core in place, right? Before you can say, hey, KD, do you want to come play with us? And KD says, heck yeah, let's get it in. What Brooklyn's trying to do right now is buy a championship. It doesn't seem like they're working.
Well, right now it's because of the simple fact that they just don't have no pieces. They just don't have any defensive pieces. Even if we're all on, if they get Ben back, just on the defensive end, does that not make them exponentially better? Like, because now to me, I feel like he got that P. Will effect where it's like, all right, Collins is hooping better. You know, Andre Drummond not getting beat as much. They don't have defense.
Yeah.
all we talk when these playoff games get down to it, all we talking about is a couple of stops. Like now we know because they know 9 times out of 10, like you're not gonna stop Giannis. Everybody say that. I could stop him a couple of times though. You trying to tell me I can't get at least 3 stops?
P. Will did a great job last night though.
Yeah, but I'm saying so it's like I don't know. It really depends on what happens because we already know that squad isn't going anywhere.
Yeah.
But those 2 pieces are going to help at least try to catch them.
Yeah.
In my opinion. So I feel like those are the 2 like now we can't get these dudes up.
Yeah. And appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with us as always, man. Hit that like button if you in here. Subscribe to the page. We do talk Chicago sports daily on this channel. It's the only channel that's talking Chicago sports, how Chicago talk. So make sure that you get in tune with us, man. Also an update tonight. Shout out to Baki in the chat, always coming through with the tweet updates and stuff like that, man. On Twitter, this one just tweeted out by Daniel Greenberg. Chicago Bulls guard Alex Caruso has been added to the injury report. Caruso is doubtful for tonight's game with low back contusions. I like the move. Because you have to get ready for the playoffs. And guess what? There's only one way to, at a minimum, be as ready as you can before the playoffs. And that's to get healthy. I like the move to sit him. I like the move to sit Zach last night. I think that it does a lot for you, and especially with the way P. Will is playing defensively, let's see if he can keep it up, right? You don't take these minutes away from P. Will now. You don't take these minutes away from P. Will. You let him keep doing what he's doing. I think this is a move that could move Alex Caruso back to the bench. Because of how he's playing. You want to get that bench defense. You want to play him less minutes, especially with him dealing with the injury. And I think that you want to play, you want to put him in the best position to be successful for you moving forward in the playoffs. The best way to do that is for him to rest. Your starting lineup tonight, probably like Shay just said, Io, Zach LaVine, DeMar, P. Will, Nikola Vucevic. And here's the kicker tonight, right? You could still see if you beat Boston tonight.
I wanted to
Boston
ask,
moves to the 3, right?
Yeah, I wanted to ask, but cause I'm looking at it like this matchup tonight is a possible playoff matchup. So this will tell you a lot. Honestly, in the case of Caruso, I'm sitting him for the rest of the year.
Yes, I'm sitting him till the playoffs start. Yes,
I'm sitting him for the rest of the year. There's no need to throw him out there. You in playoff contention, and you know that's one of your better guards that you're gonna need.
100%.
You know when the playoffs start up, so sit him, let him get that extra week, almost of rest, but. As far as this tonight, this is a big statement game because this is possibly the team that you playing.
Here's the question.
You know, in the first round, so this is big.
Is it better to have? Because listen, we're seeing a lot of things that the Bulls are doing, right? We're seeing a lot of you have to figure out whether to rest these guys. You have to figure out whether to play them the rest of the way. I believe there is a week gap between the end of the season and the playoffs. Am I right on that? Right? Like the Bulls season ends. Let me see here. Bulls season ends on, what is that, April 9th? When is our season end? Hold on. Let me look at the schedule here because my tab.
I got you. Hold on.
I keep going to my tablet. Bull season ends on April 10th. The NBA playoffs start.
Well, the play-ins start on the 15th.
So yeah, you've got almost 5 more days between the playoffs starting
and then
where we are right now, and the end of the season, plus where we are right now. So the question is it better to have more rest heading into the playoffs or to be more prepared heading into the playoffs? Because you do still get that little bit of gap between that you're going to that you're gonna have that space. You know what I'm saying? Where people are gonna be able to get a few days rest.
I would play this Boston game, but then I would sit at like legitimately everybody.
Yeah.
And the T Wolves game.
Yeah.
Because you already locked in. So at this point, it's just coming down to matchups.
Yeah.
But the only reason why I'm playing this game is because this is a potential first round matchup that we got. So now we got to see really what's what. Essentially, you might as well think of this as you know a possible eighth game and the seventh game because you might be ready to get back to it a week later, just like you said. So yeah.
According to this, playoffs start on April 16th.
16th.
Yeah.
I said you got 5 days right.
Essentially, you got 6 days rest for the Bulls. Bulls' last game is on the 10th.
All right. Well,
so you would have 6 days rest anyway, right? And the reason I asked that is because like we've heard like, hey, rest Zach, rest DeMar the rest of the season. Get these guys as much rest as possible. 2 weeks off ain't always a good thing.
Hey, nah. Hey, 2 weeks off. Hey, you see that trash don't be working in football at all. Yeah.
Football's such a different sport though. Like rest, like you almost always have to put rest over anything else because like, yes, like them being off isn't as good, but you're also like always beat half the heck. So like you're trying to, you know what I'm saying? Like it's like you have to rest guys in that situation.
It's just kind of weird because it'll be like, all right, we just came from dropping 35 a game. Let's get these 2 weeks. And then first game back, we dropping 10. Next thing I know, we out of the playoffs.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't get a touchdown.
Right. No, and that's why I asked the question, right? Because there is something to be said about going into the playoffs healthy and ready to go. There truly is. There's more times than not where the team that gets too much rest ends up losing the first couple of games because they don't have a rhythm.
Someone did ask Billy that question. He said he would let the players tell him he's leaning towards playing them. What? Man, if you let the players tell you, they're obviously going to say they want to play.
It's a tough question, dog. It really is. Like, you honestly have to... You honestly have to, like, weigh that out because especially with, like, the Bulls situation, right? They've had a ton of injuries. We're to the point, it's called a slew. They've had a slew of injuries. They lose Lonzo Ball for the season. They lose Zach LaVine for a good chunk of time with his knee issue. They lose DeMar DeRozan due to COVID and stuff like that. They lose Alex Caruso for a good chunk of the season because of injury. They lose Patrick Williams for the season just about because of injury. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you have to you have to seriously weigh out like what's better going into these games. Like I think and here's the tough part, right? No one has played playoff basketball. Like maybe for Vooch in the first round, but you don't have another big, so that don't work. Maybe
Alex Caruso, Tristan Thompson.
Hey, you need all those guys. And
Derrick Jones Jr.
Yeah, and Caruso's gonna get the rest. You know what I'm saying? So like you really have to weigh out like.
Man, hey, I don't care what they say. I'm sitting everybody to Minnesota game.
I would sit everybody to Minnesota game, probably, yes. Because you now know you can't drop lower than 6.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, it's just like we can't do nothing about the matchup. Yeah. So why am I playing you? You know what I'm saying? Like and the only reason why I'm actually playing this game is because it's a potential first round matchup.
Yeah. And that it's tough, dog, because it's like when you're uh uh um when you're trying to weigh it out, you're trying to, especially for the Bulls, right? Like I said, no playoff experience. You don't have that experience coming into the game. You're trying to build that experience with this young team, but you're also trying to understand the fact that those young guys need the rhythm. Patrick Williams needs to be in rhythm. Ayo Dosunmu needs to be in rhythm. Kobe White needs to be in rhythm for you to have any chance for you to win in the NBA playoffs. These guys need to be in rhythm. If they're not in rhythm, you're going to lose. So
but if it's gonna be Boston,
even if it's Boston,
you have to.
The matchup don't matter to me, right? The matchup to me means nothing because like all three matchups are tough. Philly, Boston, and Milwaukee are all tough matchups. They all could put you out in 4. Yeah, I'm saying like they all could put you out in 4. Like, is Boston the best of the bunch? Yeah. But let's not get it twisted. All three of these teams could absolutely put you out of the playoffs real quick.
All three teams had like this. This is the thing: Boston championship experience.
Yeah.
Milwaukee championship experience. Philly.
Well, this Boston team don't have championship experience.
Listen, it don't matter. The three people on the team that I need to have championship experience got championship experience. Like Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and Marcus Smart.
When they been to an NBA championship?
Not to an NBA championship, but they've been to the ECF.
Hey,
like what, twice?
Listen, just the one time, right? Because they got bounced every other time.
It was
the ECF is different.
No, it was twice because it was Brian and then it was Miami, and Bam got the block.
Oh, the bubble playoffs they did make it. Yeah. I mean, listen, okay, yeah, like ECF.
It means something.
No, playoff experience does mean something. You said championship experience. I'm like, did I miss a Boston Celtics championship that I needed to watch? Like, was I asleep that whole time?
Boston nor does Philly have championship experience. What are you talking about? That no, I was gonna get to Philly. Doc Rivers has a championship.
Doc Rivers has a head coach that has championship experience. That does make a difference. But he's also taken a lot of L's on the way since then. You know what I'm saying?
I told you. He was about a series away from coaching Proviso West.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. That's gonna be a tough one. That's gonna be hey, listen, Doc Rivers definitely has championship experience, but Doc Rivers also has a lot of 3-1 loss experience. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, that
man blew.
Man, it's a lot, bro. He's blown a lot of 3-1 leads, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Nah, he blew a lot. Which is baffling to me because I didn't understand how he was on the coaches list, but
it's weird, dog. Oh, I understand it. I understand it. Listen, Doc Rivers is a good head coach. He just might not be I don't know. One of the greatest of all time is tough. They put him as a top 15. One of the greatest of all time is tough. Chef C, pop quiz. Name a player who helped lead their team to the NBA champion, but didn't win the playoff series in his first 8 seasons. Didn't win a playoff series? That's a tough one. I was gonna say Jerry West, but he led his team to the led their team to an NBA champion, but didn't win a playoff series in their first 8 seasons. That's tough. Good question there. I got to think on that one. But no, man, just honestly, looking at us heading into the playoffs, and we want to get into the Lonzo Ball talk.
Hey, by the way, Jason Tatum got 2 Eastern Conference Finals appearances. Since I don't know what I'm talking about, but it's okay.
You said championship though.
But I mean, Eastern Conference Finals, bro. That's close. Man, look, we got 2 different opinions on that.
No, that's not an opinion thing.
But he has way more championship experience than half of the those 3.
That's not championship experience though, dog.
Okay.
When do we start calling ECFs championships?
Okay. I'm just saying he has more championship experience or more playoff experience or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. Playoff experience is very different
than most of these mud. I'm just saying.
Playoff experience is
what
very
are you talking
different.
about?
Playoff experience.
Those are the 3 people I need to have it.
Hey, listen. Okay, DeMar got if that's the case, DeMar got championship experience. Like championship experience is being in the finals.
I'm gonna let him have it. I'm gonna let him have it.
Championship experience is being in the finals, bro. Like that's not even a. That's not even a. Yeah. I mean, come on, dog. Like that. Hey, kid, right? You do just stick. You stick to a point, and then you don't let it go. You be getting cooked on a point, and you just hold on to that mug, dog.
It's not a cook.
I ain't even say nothing. That's the chat going at you right now. Hey, man, appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with us as always, man. Hit that like button if you haven't done so. Subscribe to the page. We do talk Chicago sports daily on this channel. We don't want y'all to miss a thing, so make sure that y'all hit that bell. Another question we got to get into.
What's up?
Bulls losing Lonzo heading into this playoffs. How big of an effect is that going to have on the Chicago Bulls in the playoffs? Or is it not going to have any effect because at this point he hasn't started in 36 games?
It's not going. It's not going to do nothing. It's not going to do nothing. This is what I'm saying. Like, they at this point, like you said, everybody already know how to play.
Yeah.
With everybody. The only people that are saying it's huge is the chat. But it's like you said, he ain't been there in 36 games. So why are we still talking about?
He also has never been in the playoffs.
Like, why we still talking about the same thing?
I will give this to Crit. Crit said huge, and they've sucked for pretty much 36 games. Hey, that is a fact.
That's true too. But my whole thing on it is I can't rock with. You know what I'm saying? Like, he not here. It is what it is.
Yeah.
We got to play what we got.
Yeah.
So it's just like now. I mean, this pretty much finna be the playoff roster, and you just hope, maybe at the end of this that they can at least sneak one out.
Here's the question, right? Does it hurt or help the Bulls in the future? And I know that sounds crazy, like Lonzo Ball is hurt. Why would it help the Bulls in the future? You're getting Ayo Dosunmu time and development he never would have gotten. And now you're going to get it for him at a playoff level. Is it more hurtful or is it helpful to the Bulls' future that Lonzo misses this year? Because I think Lonzo goes into like let's be real. I think Lonzo, if he's 100% healthy, goes into this playoffs and he's the same dude, if not better, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because he's just got a high IQ basketball wise. He's just a smart basketball player. He's really good. He's gonna make the right decision. He's gonna make the right pass. He's gonna move. Is this more hurtful or helpful to the Bulls moving forward?
I mean, at the end of the day, he has not been there, but at the same time, Ayo's getting valuable experience. In his first go round.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, even when he comes back, you know, for next year, you never know. You might have a starting caliber guard, you know, sitting on your bench, because he has that experience. So, I mean, to be honest, it's a loss, but I still feel like it's a win in the long term development of it.
Yeah.
But no, right now, I'm just rolling with Lonzo's not here, so and he hasn't been here for 36 games and Io's played, so it's really not doing that much for me yet. I'm just with the mentality next man up. That's just how I'm looking at it.
I mean, I agree with you, and of course, you know, as Bulls fans, that's pretty much how we live our life. Thanks to Tibbs, you know, next man up is literally everything that we've got. But I feel like, were you gonna win? You really have to look at, were you gonna win a championship this season? If you weren't gonna win a championship this season, yes, the experience would be great. Yes, having him on this team would be great. Yes, having him get the experience while building that chemistry with this team heading into the playoffs would be great. But if we're talking about moving forward, if we're talking about moving, and if you guys are just getting in here, man, you haven't heard the news. Lonzo Ball has been shut down for the rest of the season. He will not make a return this season. He'll be back next season as you know, hopefully started the season ready to go by training camp, stuff like that. But if you're looking at winning an NBA championship in the future, Lonzo Ball has to be there. But your other pieces have to develop a lot further than Lonzo Ball does. Lonzo can legitimately, the rest of his career, be a 15, 7, and 6 guy, and the Bulls can be on the right path. Legitimately. He can be a 15, 7, and 6 guy, and the Bulls could be on the right path. But you need Ayo Dosunmu to be that dude and have that experience. You need Patrick Williams to be that dude and have that experience for you to be on the right path. You need Zach LaVine to have that experience and you to be on the right path. You need Zoe to have that experience as well. But I think that Zoe getting that experience on top of what he already provides for the Bulls just makes him that much better of a player. There's some of these guys here that are kind of good players that you need to put in a position to be better players by giving them the opportunity to learn in this starting lineup right now. You can't tell me Ayo Dosunmu develops the same way if he's not in this situation right now. If he's spending his entire season off of the bench. If he's spending his entire season trying to, you know, come in and be the bench point guard, he doesn't develop the same way. He's not going to have that same opportunity. But now he's going to get that opportunity. And going into next season, guess what? He has that opportunity and you get Lonzo Ball back. That's big. I think for the future, as crazy as it may sound, I understand it's like, did this dude just say it's like actually good for the Bulls to be not have Lonzo here? Not to say that it's good for this series. No, the Bulls can't win. Or the Bulls, they can win. The Bulls aren't going to be as dominant as I thought they might be heading into the playoffs without Lonzo. But if I'm being honest on what this team is and what this team can become, you need a lot more than Lonzo Ball to become that. You need Lonzo Ball to be a nice piece that he is and be the three-point shooter that he's become. But I need more than Lonzo Ball. Lonzo Ball's your point guard. He's your leader. But you need development from these guys. And crazy as it sounds, you need that same thing from Kobe White as well. You need that playoff experience from Kobe White as well. Is he the dude that I want to see out there right now shooting three? Not the way he's playing. Absolutely not. But to me, if we're talking about what has the Bulls better suited to win championships moving forward, opportunity. Opportunity. Who's gonna do what with that opportunity? What's P. Will gonna do with that opportunity? What is Io DeSumo gonna do with that opportunity? That's what we find out this year. That's what we get to find that out early in this thing, right? This is what I say. I don't want to be a head in the sand Bulls fan. I don't. I refuse to do it. I want to know what's wrong with my team. What's wrong with this Bulls team? They can't knock down shots. Does Lonzo Ball help that? Yes. All right, cool. We add him back in. Who else is going to give you that offensive output? Well, maybe we can get it from Patrick Williams if he's a little more aggressive. Okay, let's see if he's going to be aggressive in the playoffs. Well, maybe we can get it from Io DeSumo once he, tries to calm down and learns how to, deal with things in the play. Okay, let's get it from Io DeSumo in the playoffs. Let's get these guys this experience. It sucks right now that you lose Lonzo for the season. But instead of looking at it glass half empty, let's look at it glass half full. Opportunity. What is this team going to do with it? What is this team going to do with it? That's the biggest question you have coming into this. What is this team going to do with it? Because whether we say it or not, whether we say Bulls are a first-round exit, they're an easy out, they're going to get beat, they're the 6th seed, blah, blah, blah. Hey, how many people said that about the Hawks last year? Hawks were what, 5th seed? 5th seed, right, last season? How many people said that about the Atlanta Hawks last season? Just like on your team, it breeds opportunity. Like heading into the playoffs right now, injury breeds opportunity. Who we playing first round? Right now, Milwaukee, or it could be Boston, or it could be Philly. Say we see an injury like we saw last year. Now you've got one piece instead of two. Now you've only got James Harden instead of James Harden and Joel Embiid. Or now you only got Joel Embiid instead of Joel Embiid and James Harden. And there's a very different team than what we had earlier, right? What if you've only got like the opportunity can be there? We don't know what it's going to be. We don't know what it's going to be. What if they lose Drew? Drew's the moving piece for them. What if they lose Drew for Milwaukee? Boston loses Jason Tatum. That changes things. That's game changing for you. And now you're getting more opportunity to get these guys more opportunity. And now you're getting a chance to keep moving forward. That's why being in the playoffs is so important. That's why just being in the playoffs is so important. That's why I'm excited that the Chicago Bulls are playoff bound. Because just being in the playoffs, you don't know what happens. You can't tell me going into the NBA playoffs last season that everybody thought that the Milwaukee Bucks were going to win the NBA championship. It was just Chuck. It was just Chuck. You can't tell me that everybody went into that and was like, yeah, my Milwaukee Bucks are the next up. It was just Chuck. That's it. It's the only person that I saw predicting that Milwaukee was going to win the championship. I know people from Milwaukee that didn't think Milwaukee was going to win a championship until they got to a championship. And when they got in that mug, they were like, hey, man, I don't know, man. We're going to see. It's been Bucks and 6 the whole time. I'm gonna beat my chest and say it, but I don't know if it's really going to happen. It's about what you do with the opportunity. And there's a lot that the Bulls can do here. There's a lot that the Bulls can do here. And so to me, if I'm looking at like my team moving forward, having championship or finally getting to the point where they can get some championship experience, finally getting to the point where they can get playoff experience, getting to the point where they can get conference finals experience, like it's all a process in that. If we just make it into the first round this season, dope. If we get into the second round this season, even doper. Right? But if you keep it a Billy Buck bean, you have no idea what's going to happen when you get there. You just need a chip in the chair. I'll take it to football on you. Nobody thought the Bears were going to lose that game to Philly versus Nick Foles. A double doink changed the entire trajectory of the Chicago Bears. Nobody thought that a field goal kick would be the reason that we never made it further than the first round. Nobody expected Philly to win that game. Because we had the best defense in the NFL. A chip in the chair is all you need. A chip in the chair sometimes is all you need. I'm not saying that the Bulls are going all the way. I'm not saying the Bulls are going to get out the first round. I'm not saying the Bulls get smoked. But what I'm saying is being there matters. And it's more helpful to be there than it is hurtful. It's more helpful to have that experience than it is hurtful. And if I'm putting it on a scale, I want to see Ayo Dosunmu and Patrick Williams have that experience more than I need to see Lonzo Ball have it right now. And this is the reason why, right? Crazy as it sounds, you do have to ask the question about Lonzo Ball on if he is going to be your point guard of the future. Shout out to you, Seven. If he's going to be your point guard of the future. If you look at Lonzo Ball right now and what he's done in his career games-wise, his first season, he played 52. Second season, 47. Third season, 63. Fourth season, 55. This is his fifth year in the NBA. He's played 35 games. Unfortunately, you have to all cut short by injury. All cut short by injury. Unfortunately, you have to ask yourself that question. Now, hold on. 2020, he might be good. Because one of them is the COVID year. 2020 or 2020, 2021. One of them is the COVID season. I think 2021. But he did have injury throughout that season. You have to ask yourself, is Lonzo Ball going to be your point guard of the future here? You have to ask yourself how that's going to go. It's a lot better, right? When you have Ayo coming off your bench, stepping in and being a key contributor early in the season. And in his first season, early in his career. But you do have to ask yourself, hey, is Zoe going to be the PG of our future? Was this a good signing? Now, for me, 1 year in doesn't change that. 1 year in doesn't change that for me. For me, 1 year in, hey, listen, okay, he had a little bit of injury. Bulls are going to get him in here. Listen, I'll say this too as well. We know that the Pelicans don't handle injuries real well. I like that at a minimum, the Bulls are being cautious with Lonzo. We know that the Pelicans don't really handle injury the greatest. The Pelicans are legitimately a team that'll just be like, hey, man, we thought that this worked, but then it didn't. We thought that this was going to be okay, but then it wasn't. Like I'm gonna be real. If I got hurt on the Pelicans, I'd be like, trade me. Trade me. I ain't trying to be out here with y'all. But I need to see more than a year of it. Listen, if he comes in the next year and he has the same injury issues, he has the same issues with the knee, has the same issues being on the court, as much ability as he has, what do I say? His best ability is availability. As much ability as he has, his best ability is availability. Right now, he hasn't been available. If he's not available for you next season, okay. Now we got some serious questions here. Especially with it being, it was pretty much non-contact. It started off as discomfort, and then it turned into a surgery. Now he can't even ramp it back up. It's a process. And unfortunately, one that we're at the beginning of. It's a process, and unfortunately, it's one that we're at the beginning of. And so you got to find a way to fight through. Listen, even if it is, right? Even if it is that, even if it does become that, next season, you won't have these same excuses. What's your excuses this year, right? You're not shooting well. Nobody has playoff experience. Next season, Zach LaVine will have playoff experience. Ayo Dosunmu, Patrick Williams, Javonte Green, Tristan, they all got playoff. But you're talking about most of your team doesn't have playoff experience. Billy Donovan with this team having playoff experience. And that makes a difference because this is a completely, yes, Billy has playoff experience with Russ, with KD, with Paul George, with Chris Paul, stuff like that, right? This is not that team. So Billy Donovan having playoff experience with this Chicago Bulls team makes a big difference. Billy Donovan having playoff experience with this Chicago Bulls team makes a difference for you moving forward. And so you have to ask yourself, or you have to look at it as that going into next season, right? Hey, you guys have had a chance to be in the playoffs. You've had a chance to gel. This is not the first season of this. Excuse me. This is not the beginning anymore. Next season, you don't get those same excuses. Even if Lonzo is injured. Guess what? Ayo Dosunmu has playoff experience now. He knows what it's like to be the starting point guard of an NBA team for a good chunk of the season, for most of the season, and heading into the playoffs. He knows what that's like. So you have to, you're going into next season with a bunch of dudes ready to go. You're going into next season with a bunch of dudes ready to get to that next step, get to that next level. That's when you start having these tough conversations. To me, that's when you start looking at this team like, all right, I need y'all to do a little bit more. Not year one. Did they play well beginning of the season? Absolutely, but not year one. Clearly, there's some issues here. And also, clearly there's some issues here because of what? Because we're losing. And we're losing to those top 18 teams. There's people, this is the interesting thing about this, right? People really don't believe in levels anymore. People really don't look at things as levels anymore. There's levels to this. Are the Bulls a good basketball team? Yes. Are the Bulls a great basketball team? No. Are the Bulls a top 3 basketball team? No. Are they top 6? No. Are they top 12 in the NBA? Yeah. What are we ranking at? Probably about 6 through 12. But it's about growing to the point, developing, building this team to the point that, hey, next season, those top 18 teams, maybe you don't even go 18-0 versus them. Maybe all of a sudden, and here's the thing, right? All that 18-0, 18-0 versus the top 18. Say the Bulls win the first round playoffs. What's that mean? What does that mean for all of that? Or I'm sorry, 0-18. Say the Bulls win a first round playoff series. What does that mean for all of that 0-18 that we saw? What does that mean for the regular season? What does that mean for? And I'm not saying they will. I'm not saying it's going to be a cakewalk, but say that they do. What does that mean for that stat? Or say they come out in game 1 and they blow somebody out. Right? Like we get so locked into something, so focused in on something. We like bulldogs with it. You grab a hold of it and you can't let go. You got to shake it up until it's shook to death. Urgh. Playoffs 0-0. First game, we play Philly. We blow Philly out. I'm not expecting it. I'm just saying. Joel Embiid has an off night. James Harden not ready to go. Maxey gets locked up. We blow Philly out. What's that stat mean now? Right? It's all about growth and development and moving forward and building a team that's going to be a perennial team that's in the playoffs. You know what I can give to Boston? They've been here. How many years was Boston out of it? What? Between Paul Pierce and how many down years did Boston really have? Right? Like there's more to be said about being in the playoffs every single season than not. And you know why? Because we just went 5 seasons without it. Let me see here. Record by a year. Of course, I hate that it starts at like the 50s. Like, yeah, that's the record I was looking for. What was the Boston Celtics 1952 record? Is this conference standings here? That is division standings. Oh, here we go. Okay. Last season, they were 7th. Season before that, they were 3rd, 4th, 2nd, 1st, 5th, 7th. That's all the way back to 2015. Season before that, they were 12th. Season before that, 7th, 4th, 3rd, 4th, 2nd, 1st in the Eastern Conference. They won an NBA championship 07-08. 2 seasons in between that, 15th and 11th. After that, 3rd, or before that, 3rd, 8th, 6th, 3rd. I want that. I want continued success. I want a team that I can go look at every year and be like, we're going to be in the playoffs. What can we do to get over the hump? I want that. Because when you have that, you're starting from a place of, hey, we're pretty good. What can we add to this to make it even better? You know when they went through their bad stretch? In between the times where Larry Bird couldn't play. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years of bad. And it's because Larry Bird couldn't play. Like that is what you build. How do you do that? Like, look at the Spurs. The Lakers are going through their worst stretch ever right now, and they won a championship in that stretch. I think they missed the playoffs like 12 times in their whole franchise career over the last few years. This is the seventh time. What did it say? This is the in the last, I forget what the stat is. Like in the last 7 years, 5 of those came in this era, or came with this section that they're at right now. Like, this is their worst time missing the playoffs ever. You know, want to know what the Bulls look like? All the Jordan years. And then 15th, 12th, 14th. We get Derrick Rose. Oh, no, we didn't get Derrick Rose. No, this is the baby Bulls. 4th in the Eastern Conference. 7th in the Eastern Conference. 5th in the Eastern Conference. 11th. We get Derrick Rose. 7th in the Eastern Conference. 8th in the Eastern Conference. 2 41-41 seasons. We get Thibs. 1st, 5th, 4th, 3rd, 9th. Injury year. We get rid of Jimmy. 500. 8th. We play Boston. And then 13th, 11th. Now we're 6th. There's a lot of D and Qs on the Bulls side. Since Jordan, there's more D and Qs on the playoff side, right? Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We'll have made it 12 times since Michael Jordan. 9, 10, 11. Oh, we haven't been to the playoffs 12 times, 12 and 12. You know what I'm saying? Like I want continued success. You go through your down stretches. Give me 20 years or something. We haven't had 20 years of good basketball in a while. We haven't had 20 years of good basketball. Have we had 20 years of good basketball? I don't even think since the franchise started we've had 20 years of good basketball. Spurs have, Lakers have, Boston has. We're supposed to be in those conversations. We're that level of franchise, right? We should be in those conversations. How do you do that? How do you get to that point? How do you find your way? Figure that out. That's what I want AK here for. That's why I love that AK is here. That's what I want to see him here for. That's why I love that Mark Everly's here. And hopefully we're able to hold on to him because I think he's going to be moving up, doing some great things. But I would rather be in the playoffs every single season trying to figure out what we can add to this team to get us to the next level than sit there and say, let's clear out all the talent in the room. Because that doesn't work. I'm sorry, that just doesn't work. A lot of those teams that ended up with those best players, now it might be a little bit rigged, I ain't gonna lie to you. Pat Ewing to the New York Knicks, a little suspicious. That's all I'm saying. A little suspicious how that one worked out. That's all I'm saying. But a lot of those teams that got their players, how'd they get that player? How did we get Derrick Rose? Did we get Derrick Rose trying not to compete? The year we got Derrick Rose, what were we, 33 and 49? We're still competing. You added Derrick Rose to a team that was pretty good. He made them better. If you look at that beginning LeBron team, were they bad? Yeah. But the names on that team all went on to be pretty good players. You added LeBron to that team. Nah, they all end up getting shipped off. You know, Booz was gone. He started moving some dudes out. Yeah, I mean, well, maybe not him at that point, but the organization. But you know what I'm saying? Like, There's more that goes into it, and I would rather you add DeMar DeRozan, right, to the Chicago Bulls in 2019, 2020. What does that do? You got DeMar DeRozan. There was no talent on that team. You added DeMar DeRozan to a team that had Zach LaVine and Vooch already in place. You brought in Alex Caruso, talent. You got good pieces on the bench and Derrick Jones, talent. Whether they're great or not, talented. They can play basketball. We didn't have dudes that could play basketball. We were running out there with Antonio Blakeney every night thinking we were killing the game. Talent matters. It matters more than most things in this league. In the NFL, you can see great coaching overcome poor talent. A superstar head coach overcomes subpar talent. In the NBA, that don't work. Because no matter what offensive scheme you put in, your players got to be able to make shots. You can have a great offensive scheme. You know when it works great? When you have talent. I don't want to see this team going the other way. We're in the playoffs and we are moving in the right direction. And for everybody that's sitting there and they just like, oh, listen, we're not gonna make this. Don't re-sign Zach. He's not a $200 million player. Don't bring the what do y'all like 11th? Y'all gotta love 11th. You gotta love living in misery. You have to. That's the only way. And there does have to be that finesse. I don't take away from what Kid's saying, right? Kid says that you can't have development and championship in the same word. I don't take away from that at the same time, right? But when that piece does develop, that's when you can start talking championship. Now, you have to have that level of talent to develop, but when Steph Curry does develop into that, when Klay Thompson does develop into that, when, you know what I'm saying? Draymond Green does develop into that, guess what? That's when you start talking championship. So for this Bulls team, guess what? Zach LaVine still needs to develop into that. Zach LaVine needs to become that next level player. Take that Devin Booker jump, if you will. And it's crazy, right? Because you look at the Lakers. The Lakers won. The Lakers won a championship. Bubble ring, whatever it is. The Lakers won a championship. If you look at what they did, though, to get that championship and the team that they gave up, you didn't develop anything, and look what's happening. You developed legitimately nothing, and look what's happening. Imagine this Lakers team if they keep Brandon Ingram, Lonzo Ball, Julius Randle. They had LeBron James on a signing. They had LeBron James signed already. He was a part of this team. Imagine if you develop that talent into what it is today with LeBron James. Now you're not talking about, hey, these motherfuckers out here getting cooked every night because they didn't go out and overpay these pieces. They didn't go out and overpay for Russell Westbrook. They didn't go out and overpay for Anthony Davis, who hasn't been on the court. Whether you like the talent or not, being on the court and not being on the court, that turns into, did you overpay him or not? You're overpaying somebody that's not producing, that's not on the floor. Whether it's because of injury or not, unfortunately, he's not on the floor. I will never not believe that development doesn't matter in this NBA, and it's because of teams like that. The teams that try to buy it. Miami, it probably worked the best with, right? It probably worked the best with Miami buying a chip because you got 2 out of it. You went to 4 NBA finals. That's probably the team that it worked out the best for. But other than that, when have you been able to go out in this NBA and buy a championship that lasted with consistency? Because you have to give up so much. Is it worth it for the ring, right? Is it worth it? And I look at that with all sports, right? I look at that that way. Now I feel like baseball you can just because the money's stupid in baseball. Like he's a left-handed pitcher. What's that mean? I don't know. It means he should make $100 million. Is he good? Who cares? He's left-handed. Baseball's a little different. Baseball, you can legitimately go buy you a championship. But if you look at like football, the Rams won a ring. I feel like one Super Bowl ring means a lot more than one NBA championship as well. But the Rams won a ring. If they can't pay everyone to come back, which somehow they've still managed to do. Whoever's running the Rams book, shout out to them. They got a lot of pieces back. But if they can't do that, how does that change the trajectory of that team given what they gave up? Can you have sustained success given what they've given up? And realistically, the Rams developed most of that team. And then they added Matt Stafford. Realistically, the Buccaneers developed most of that team. That was a very similar team to the one that Jameis Winston threw 30 interceptions on. And then they added Tom Brady. Who's back? If you're not consistently finding young talent to put on the floor, you're going to consistently struggle in every league. It doesn't matter. And that's what I look at with the Bulls coming out here. That's why I think, really, they win a ring, right? They win a ring. That's your goal. But was the Lakers a failed trial? You got one, but your team is decimated. Your cap is decimated. You literally are running it back. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I don't care what nobody says. I would be very surprised to see Russell Westbrook not on the Lakers next year. You're running it back with this same team. You have no draft capital. Your cap is in shambles. Was it worth it? Was it worth it? You have no pieces to develop for your future. One piece you thought you were going to develop, I think they used horribly in Talon Horton Tucker, and he regressed this season. One piece I thought would have been great for the Bulls this season. He went from shooting 45% a game to shooting 41. He was a guy that was moving in the right direction year after year, and then this year he becomes stagnant, playing the most time. Like, is it worth it? Vern asked, let me ask you something, Pat. Why should we be patient with Arturas and Eversley? Why should we be patient? Arturas and Eversley don't want to be going through a long, drawn-out process. This is a different kind of process, though. The Bulls want to be competitive now and in the future. The Bulls want to be competitive now and in the future. Right now, are the Bulls competitive? Right now, are the Bulls a better team than they were last year? See, this is the thing. How do you get, like, same mindset, but with what you have here? How do you keep the talent that you have in the room? You probably wouldn't have kept Zach LaVine if you kept doing things at the status quo. You couldn't have kept Zach LaVine if you kept going out with that team. You couldn't have. You had to go out and get some pieces to put around Zach. You had to. You had to go get Vooch. You had to go get DeMar. But guess what? You see what they didn't do. AK's not dumb. They didn't move on from P. Will. Now, whether he's going to become that player or not, I believe he's going to be that player. I believe he takes that step next season. I believe we see something from him in the playoffs here. But whether he's going to become that player or not, right, you got to let that play out. They didn't get rid of him. Your best trade piece right now was probably the rookie to get somebody back that could have been a veteran presence right now in Ayo Dosunmu, because Ayo is young talent. You could have included Ayo in a trade to possibly go get somebody else around the league. Maybe you include Ayo to a trade to go get Sabonis. Maybe you include Ayo in a trade to go get a legit player on teams that, hey, we have talent right now, but we're trying to go young and develop young talent. Ayo Dosunmu's he didn't get rid of Ayo. Right? You can play both games at once. If you focus on one thing the entire way, you're going to struggle. And I think that's why the Lakers, listen, you win a championship, winning one championship means something. Having a ring means something. The Bulls don't have it. Having a ring to me, like I'm not one of those people that's like, well, if you don't get 3, if you don't get 4, then you didn't win it. But I am one of those people that say, if you gut everything you have and put yourself on the brink of destruction to go get that championship, yeah, that's a failed experiment. They got their one. Clap it up. Whether it's a bubble ring or not, I don't put the little asterisk on it. There's a lot of people that put the asterisk on it, right? There's a lot of people that hey, we're gonna put this asterisk on here and we're gonna make this happen. That wasn't a real championship. I don't put that. That's an NBA championship. Shout out to them for winning it. But where are they now? Where's that team now? Where are the Lakers now? How are the Lakers? Like, in all honesty, there's no way the Lakers fix this next season. You know how the Lakers get into the playoffs? Maybe Anthony Davis stays healthy for a season. Maybe. That's the only way. And I don't think there'll be a high seed. Maybe. Maybe you're able to move on from Russell Westbrook to go get John Wall. But how does John Wall come here and play differently than Russ did? Because you're still going to be playing off of LeBron James. You know why? Because he's freaking LeBron James. It's not about waiting and doing nothing. It's about building something that's competitive and then adding pieces onto that keep you competitive for a long time. They had David Robinson on the Spurs. David Robinson gets hurt for a season. The Spurs struggle. The Spurs get a high pick. Guess what? That pick turns into Tim Duncan. The Spurs then go on for 20 years of success. How do you keep that success going? Oh, we go get Tony Parker. How do you keep that success going? Let's go get Manu Ginobili. Let's put pieces around Tim to make him great for a long time. The Spurs were already great. They had won a ring already. There's a difference in developing your team and setting your team up for the future and looking at your team and saying, well, we're in the middle of the pack, and so this sucks, so we might as well blow it up and see who we can get in the draft. And you know why? Because, listen, Jokic was taken with the 41st pick. Jokic was taken with the 41st pick. There's a lot of teams that are good that become great, but Giannis was taken where? In that same draft, I believe. Giannis was taken with the 15th pick in the draft. Curry was what? 41st, if I'm not mistaken. What was Steph Curry? No, Curry wasn't that low. Curry was 7, right? What was Steph Curry? Curry draft. Curry was 7. Yeah. I'm tweaking on that. 7th pick. Steph Curry a little different. But you can have talent and then add talent and figure it out. You know what's going to put the Spurs, you know what's going to keep Golden State relevant for years to come while Stephen Curry starts to age and maybe fall off a little bit at some point? Jordan Poole being picked at 28. Jordan Poole this season went from averaging 13 points a game in his career to 18 points a game. Jordan Poole being picked. Oh, by the way, James Wiseman still ain't played. He's going to be back. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's stuff like that. It's stuff like that. So I like what this Bulls team is doing. I like the direction they're going. I like that we're here. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going, boys. Let's keep it going. Hey, man, shout out to y'all for pulling up, showing love. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with us for another episode of The Daily Show. As always, man, hit that like button, subscribe to the page. Make sure that you guys do follow us over on Twitter at the WC Breeze and follow me personally on Twitter at Pat the Designer. I'll be tweeting all day. We'll also have content dropping throughout the day as well. I got a George Pickens video up right now, so go check that out. Talking about George Pickens, should the Bears take him at 39th? I have another video coming out today. And we're also going to have some Bulls stuff dropping today. And, of course, we're going to be live for the Bulls live call tonight. We got Boston. Got to get a dub here. Let's get a dub. Y'all know what we need. As always, man, it's your boy, Pat the Designer, back at it again. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with us. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. One love. Peace.